Greetings to all of you. Greetings and hello. I'm here with the McKenzie Sports Club as promised. Welcome to the broadcast. Please let me know whether you can see and you can also hear clearly. Because if you notice, the gate has been chained. There's a padlock on which we're going to, of course, open in a minute. But we are here. Yeah, brother. I'm standing here because this demands a response. It is important for you to know, just as with the COVID-19 situation, the SARS-CoV-2 situation, when Frank Anthony would have said, along with Irfan Ali, that we have to take a jab or else. And my issue with that was that nobody tells me what to do. Nobody tells me, as a grown man, what I have to do in reference to what goes into my body. When Ali said that those who don't take a jab are more dangerous than the virus itself, I found that to be an affront from a president. Hey, brother, on it, on the job. All right. So I'm standing here because this mecca of sports behind me, the McKenzie Sports Club, has been wrestled from Guyanese, snatched from our hands. And it doesn't seem as if we've got individuals who are called leaders in this country with the will to defend us. Because this entity behind me here, Ramson said in January 25th, 2001, that the sports club belongs to the people of Linden. That's what he said. Now in 2022 and 23, you're hearing that NISIL handed over this ground to the government. I never knew that the government was that the people of Linden were NISIL. So I'm standing here in public protest. We have to have answers. We demand answers. This is not being against development. As you would see, the title states that development is not dictatorship. As Lindeners, we own this facility. And NISIL cannot give to anybody what is not theirs. So there's fraud that would have been committed here. I am standing. I stood by the McKenzie market because I took offense as a Guyanese to anybody telling me that I have to take a substance in my body. My body must carry something or else. Today I'm standing here as an individual who's an independent thinker. I'm standing here because there's a limit. And there is no law in Guyana that permits the state to defraud Guyanese. So I'm standing. I'm here for everybody to see. Can you hear and can you see clearly? If you can, I'll appreciate it if you can share this broadcast so that everybody can see that someone is standing in the community to address this atrocity and what I consider to be an act of criminality. You cannot at any time under any law in this country wrestle a community center from anybody, from a group of people. There's a plaque that states, our brother, that states that this facility was donated to McKenzie Sports Club. If it was donated to McKenzie Sports Club, then how can NISIL say that they've given it to the government? We need answers. We need to know who in this town knows about this underhand arrangement and didn't tell us. Nobody's against development. What we are is against dictatorship. We're against being controlled like cattle. Thank you for the feedback. We're against anybody telling us what we have to accept in the name of development. We're against not having the right to say what we want. So I stand here today. Hey brother, morning, how things, man? Strength. I stand here today with great concern. I stand here because we've got a team of Trinidadians working in here. As if Guyanese don't have hands to work. What is wrong with our hands? We need to know details of this contract. That's what we need to do. How many local companies bid for this contract? How many had the opportunity to bid for the contract? We need to know. And that's why you have a public accounts committee. Maybe the member of parliament, Figueroa, can give us information on that, because we need to know. Do you know how atrocious it is for a minister in the government to tell you, as he's called, a member of parliament in administration, to tell you in January of 2021 that this ground behind me here, this facility, is owned by the people of Linden? That's according to Royal Tony's report. He gave affirmation. This is owned by the people of Linden. How can you then decide afterwards that because you have to get money from China, it's no longer owned by us? It's now owned by the government. We are not accepting this, Guyanese. I promise to stand because it is my civic and my civil responsibility. This is our ground. This is our facility.
Morning, sir.
Morning, brother.
What's the protest about?
What's the protest about?
Yes, sir.
That the administration said this ground belongs to us in 2021, yeah. And now we're hearing that it's not ours anymore. It was given to the government by somebody else, by NISIL. I would like to know myself. So much happened and nobody said anything. I'm happy that residents have stopped to ask questions. We have persons in parliament who knew what was happening here, and I'm happy the gentleman asked. We have members of parliament who knew exactly what was happening here and never told us a word. I hope Guyanese can hear what's happening. Morning, morning, brother. How are things? Good, man. How can you have members of parliament, community leaders, who know exactly what was happening here and never informed us as a people? It seems as if we've got enemies from within then. Because I cannot see any administration walking into Linden or anybody giving this contract to Trinidadians and just to start digging up our ground, and nobody raised an alarm. So somebody had to know then. And don't tell me there's any consultation. The law doesn't say that you have to just consult with me. I have a right to participate in the process. There were no community meetings here held to discuss what happened to this facility. There's no meeting held to say, listen, the sports club is owned by the people of Linden, but we have to have it transferred to NISIL. None of that was done. And we have leaders in this town who know this and never told us anything. No, we're standing today. I'm standing today because we need answers. We have to have answers. Somebody has to give account to us, and I'll continue to stand because somebody has to give account to the people of Linden, to the people of Guyana. MSC belongs to we. This is not any government facility. This is the hour, Guyanese. You either stand for your right, or persons will walk on your neck. You either stand for your right, or persons will trample all over them. It is the right of every Guyanese, not just Lindener, to know what is being done here, and to have a say in what is being done here. We have a council, a municipality, town council, with 12 councillors. How can 12 councillors not be able to tell anybody in Linden what's happening here? How? So it's obvious, if they don't know, that somebody just bypassed everybody in Linden and decided just going to do what they want. Is that what our town has come to? That we don't have to go through protocols anymore, we could just do what we want? I'm encouraging you all as Lindeners, wake up. Wake up and see what's happening to you in your own town. Wake up to see. What is wrong with our Guyanese people? Why couldn't our contractors be given this contract to work here? Why not? What is wrong with our people? Thank you, sir. Exactly. Morning, brother. Remember, the gentleman is speaking to mobilizing individuals. I stand for me. I stand because I have a conviction to stand. Greetings, my brother. Shalom. Morning, man. I stand because I have a conviction. You can't come and take a ground away from anybody. This wasn't some government land here. They wouldn't do this at GCC at Georgetown Cricket Club. They would not do this at DCC at Demerara Cricket Club. They definitely can't try it at Everest Cricket Club. So how can you do it to McKenzie Sports Club? Our country has gone. And it's us, the people. We have to take it back. We, the people. No politician will give this back to you. We have to take back our state. If you fail to stand, if you fail to at least raise concerns about what happens in your country, I promise you that political figures will walk all over your neck, because they said that to me straight. They said if people do not protest, it means they don't have a problem. A member of parliament said to me in no uncertain terms that if Guyanese do not come out and protest, it means they don't have a problem. I would like to say that to you again. A member of parliament said to me, to my face in a meeting, that if Guyanese do not come out to protest in their communities, it means that they do not have an issue. It means everything is perfect. That's what he said. Oren McDougall, of an independent council from Port Morant, is asking a very important question. Where are the minutes to show? Where's the minutes to show that the council had discussions and decided to have this happen? None. There was no minutes because there was no official meeting. Thank you for asking, Councillor McDougall. There was no official meeting held here. There was a visit to the ground, and in that visit, people were told what is going to happen. That's it. So, somebody saying that the people are afraid. What are you afraid of? Afraid of who? Afraid? Come on, man. Afraid? I mean, this culture in our country now, whereby nobody wants their face to be seen and stuff. This is a testament or testimony of us being under dictatorial leaders. The moment you have to be afraid for your face to be seen, there's a problem in your country. So whoever's saying there's not a dictatorship here, how are you afraid of in your own country? You scared for people to see who you are? You don't want to be seen standing in public against anything? It means you're being controlled by fear. I don't fear man. Who's these people for me to fear them? Who from APNU or PPP can make me scared of them? Which creature on this planet can make me afraid of them? This is your right that's been stripped away from you as Lindeners. Are you scared? Not me. It seems as if our members of parliament, our councillors are also afraid of victimization, because it's a new thing now. Everybody's scared that they'll be victimized, so they don't want to talk. They're scared. Are you in the group who's scared of victimization? That's why you let sports club be handed over to somebody. You can't, according to law, according to common law in this country, you cannot give what is not yours. So I need to be told, we need to be told, when did NISIL acquire this facility that is owned by the club? That's what we need to be told. So Ramson, come clean, tell us when. Let the councillors tell us. Let Avery Trim, the president of this club, tell us, when did NISIL acquire this facility? Somebody has to tell us. Yeah, brother. We have got athletes who can no longer train. We've got football players who can no longer practice. All right? So, we as Guyanese, the people of Guyana, you must be prepared to voice any concern that you have. You must be prepared to stand against any unjust or atrocious activities in your town and your communities. It's your right to do so. So there are young men who are afraid they'll lose their job. Yeah, please. The young men who are afraid, they want morning. They're scared they won't get contracts. They're scared they won't get a job. Those who have a job are afraid they're going to lose their job. Just, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the help, brother. Put this more to the end. Perfect, thanks. Yeah, there are people who are afraid they're going to lose their job. They're afraid they'll be victimized. Let me help you with this. If you cannot stand against atrocities, you're already a victim. You're a victim of fear. You're a victim of dictatorship. You can't be afraid to stand in your country. Guyana belongs to Guyanese. Yeah, brother. You can't be afraid to stand in your country. Development is not dictatorship. Article 13, Article 48B, Article 149C of the law states that you have a right to know and to participate in anything that has to do with development. Anything being done where you're supposed to benefit, if they say they're building a community center so you could benefit, you're supposed to participate. If they say they're building a bridge so you can drive over and go home, you have a right to say what you want. That's your right. Now let me say to PNC, to AFC, to APNU, let me tell you all straight. According to how the boys said in the street, you're looking thin. Because people coming into your stronghold and do whatever they want. And all y'all hiding somewhere behind cameras. I guess you're strategizing still. People taking your town from you step day by day, and you strategizing. Development is not dictatorship. You cannot tell people that you're fixing this ground, you're upgrading the ground, and this is what you're giving them. An International Cricket Council stadium. Because the first question we have to ask is, did we ask you for a cricket stadium? You can't decide what you're doing in somebody's town. That's not the law. The law states that you have a right. Now this is PNC stronghold. You got a big office in front by the riverside. Now that you can't stand in front of this community here or come in here and say, listen, not here. And I call on the people of Linden to take note of your behavior, because you had to know that this is going to happen. Yeah, brother. This is no secret. You can't tell me that you can go give me this. We're not poor and sick people in Linden. We have a right to say according to the law what we want. You tell me this ground belongs to the people in 2021. The subject minister, Charles Ramsey, said this, yeah, brother, this belongs to the people. Now suddenly people have, it's owned by the government? Why y'all gotta be kidding me in this country, man? You have to be kidding me. How can we stand and accept this from any political leader? Yeah, man. And we have councillors who are afraid you can't tell people what they're going to get. Guyana's law prohibits this behavior, if you don't understand, I'm telling you. It prohibits it. They share it? Appreciate it, man. Thanks, brother. Oh, good. So I was told that the chairman, Duran Adam, shared. Maybe he'll come and stand and tell us what happened in our town, in our region. Morning, mother. Because this is, listen, you can't take this lightly. Honestly speaking, you cannot, there is no way that you can take this lightly where a government is telling you that they're building a cricket stadium without asking you what you want. And they're now saying that football can be played. You can't play football because there's an oval in there with a concrete gutter around it. So football players would run in the gutter then? We can't have this happen. The problem is, mother, that they came and took this sports club, says now it belongs to the government when it was owned by the community. Alright, this has been taken away from us, illegally so. And we don't even have a say into what they're doing. We don't know what they're doing here. Nobody answering, that's a problem. Nobody's telling us what they're doing. They say we don't have to know. We have to accept what they give us. Yes, ma'am. So we have to stand. Hey, brother, you want to hold one of these? Anyone? Articles of law say that you can't go into people's community and take anything from them and tell them what they have to accept. That is the law. When I asked to see what the plans are for this ground, show us design, show us architectural drawings, I was told, or we were told, that why must we see the drawing? Because we'll object to it. Does that sound like democracy to you? So people aren't showing us what they're doing here. There's a basketball court behind me here. We don't know where the basketball will be played here still, because this is an ICC, International Cricket Council Stadium, according to your finale. So we don't know what they're going to do in our town. No. Where is Norton? Aubrey Norton, you're supposed to be a Linden, or where are you? This is your strongest constituency. Where are you? Are we afraid? So what are we going to do? We're going to just stand here and allow a lie to live in Linden? So, as they said, the works that's supposed to be done here. Mr. Avery Trim, as president, I'm telling you, call the contractors, Ramson, call them, to tell them to open this facility so Guyanese can see what they're doing. Because I'm going to get my sejam and knock off all these padlocks. You can't lock me out of any facility I'm paying for. Yeah. I see the plan already, but this one is getting locked properly yet. They just got a padlock hooked. Now, we had an issue in Linden with our athletes. National championships are coming up for school. Johnny Gravesandi and athletes were training. He trained the athletes in this facility here. 2 weeks before nationals, they put the athletes out. Now, how unconscionable can you be? Ah, come on, these things happening right in our town, and nobody said, no, you can't put out our school children. These are children. The nation's future we're talking about here. 2 weeks before national championship, you put them out, unceremoniously dump them, and they have to start running on the road. And we call this leadership? We call this care for our people? Now, I keep hearing that there was some meeting being held. It was published in the news. There's a meeting held where Ramson told them what they're going to do. I am saying to you, that is not the law. You don't come and tell people what you're going to do. There's no Ramson yard. Do it in your house. The law states you have to talk to the people in the community. You have to hear from us in the community. We have to tell you what we want. But we don't know what is going on here. The most you know is that Irfan Ali said that this is an International Cricket Council stadium. We have laws, brothers and sisters. We have laws. If you don't mind, share the broadcast. Let people see what's happening in Linden. That there's a hostile takeover in our town. We have laws, brothers and sisters. We have laws. You can't come and take a club from anybody. We have laws. One Guyana. So y'all can't try this in Region 3 or Region 6. So I'm seeing gates are hooked. But I'm waiting for y'all. You seeing the best side of me right at the start. Because you can't say that I started misbehaving and I did anything wrong. I'm starting on the right track to give you a chance to make it right. Our town is being taken away. Bit by bit, we are losing. I heard the same thing Christian Burke, somebody at hand, over keys to the ground. You can't come and take people community facilities. You don't do that. Ask Charles Ramson. Ask Kashif. Ask Shanghai. Ask the Guyana Football Federation. Where are our footballers in Linden practicing? I bet you they can't tell you because we have no ground in Linden to practice. None. How fair is that to us in Linden? If they call a competition now for football, where our players are going to train? They didn't even say they're going to prepare a ground for us first, so we have a facility so clubs can practice at. No, you must run inside and kickball because we drop some wild animals. That's what y'all think of us. Now I'm being told that football will be played at Bayrock. So this is our town now, but you could come to this town and tell us where we have to go and play football. Not MSC. So we're told football will be played at Bayrock. Take that, nothing else. You can't say anything about what we tell you. So if I ask you what anybody in Linden, if I ask you to tell me what would McKenzie Sports Club look like? If I ask the regional chairman, if I ask the members of parliament to tell us as Lindeners what would this facility look like, you can't answer. How could this be fair to us as Guyanese people? Yeah, brother, morning. Okay. I am making it clear to you people, there's no Lindener. I have not spoken to any Lindener who said that they're against this ground being upgraded, because for years we said this ground is in a deplorable state. So nobody in Linden has said they don't want this to be upgraded. What we're saying is you can't come into our town, number one, and take a facility by unlawful means. There's a big sign in there, a huge plaque saying this, let me show you, this here was donated to the McKenzie Sports Club. That building right here, the pavilion, the whole thing was donated to the sports club. Now if you have that written, then in 2021 Charles Ramson said, listen, it is nonsense. People saying we take it over. We're not taking over any ground. Sports club belongs to the people of Linden. How can you in 2023 tell me that Nessa signed it over to you? How do we do that? This is unjust to us as a people. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. No. Nobody's against development. We're against dictatorship. We're against being told what we have to accept as a people. We're against some meeting being held here and somebody deciding what will happen for us. That's what we have an issue with. We have an issue with the fact that we are not allowed to go in here and record or show people what they're doing. How can Trinidadians tell me in my country I can't go into a ground that I'm paying for to see what they're doing and to record what they're doing? You could do that in Trinidad and Tobago. Which one of y'all as Guyanese you think could go to Trinidad and lock up gate and tell people they can't come to see? We have rights as Guyanese and it will not be trampled upon. Morning, sis. We demand that we need to know what you're doing here. This is not being against development. We need to know what you are doing at McKenzie Sports Club. I want to make it clear. We the people must know what is being done. Secondly, we have to then say what we want. That's according to the law. You have to tell us, listen, what do you want to have done at Sports Club? And we tell you all. Linden has produced a man named Basil Butcher, a West Indies cricketer. One man. One cricketer. But we got Zipper Johnson, Mice Cummings, the Hudson brothers, Collie Hercules, Lily Pollard, Brian Joseph, Red Hole, that's what we used to call him, right? Kayode McKinnon, Andy McKinnon. Hold on now, we produce Basil Butcher. That's cricket. I'm telling you for football what we produce here. Right? We had Julian Joseph for cycling, Ignatius Titus, some of the greatest in Guyana. Julian still rides his bike, rode here. Now how do you decide? How can anybody decide that Linden now becomes, this sports club becomes an International Cricket Council stadium? How you make that decision? What about the grace that we have here? Sports club belongs to us. Ramson said that. Charles Ramson said that this belongs to us. Hear what I tell you all? The minister, who's the man who's paid to be Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports, said that this belongs to us. You can't change that now. It doesn't work like that. I need to also know who, listen to my question, who from MSC knew that NISIL will take this from the members and sign it over to the government. We need to see that document. We need to see a document that shows that NISIL owned this. Because if that's the case, when I'm done here, I'm going to NISIL's office in Linden to see where my club dues are. Because if you pay the bridge has to give NISIL account for their money. So, who? The members who pay to use this ground and this facility here, our money, if NISIL owned this place, had to be in NISIL's office, in NISIL's account. Secondly, we said that the administration was bad and they let the ground run down. Well, if NISIL owned it, why NISIL didn't fix it? Because Ron Ramsden said that they had to show the Chinese government who owns this, solely NISIL own it. So I need you to tell me now, tell me please, why NISIL didn't fix it? The tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars NISIL collect, they couldn't fix this ground? As I said, PNC, you're looking thin. APNU, you're looking thin because you can't even inform your own people. Your own people. Morning, morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Look, we have a sign on the gate here.
No, it wasn't there at the time.
Oh, really? Okay then. See, it wasn't here. Look, restricted area. Unauthorized person, keep out. These people are Trinidadians here.
Big padlock.
Trinidadians telling Guyanese, keep out, you're not authorized. I'm a member now. I'm a member of this club and I'm not authorized to go in here to see what they're doing. You all see what's happening in your country? This is insane. So, my people, let me tell you what's happening to us. Because of economic oppression, Lindeners are made to think that they have to accept anything. I'm saying to you, this is not your history. You don't have to accept anything that's thrown in your face in this community. So whoever put that sign behind me, I'm telling you, that sign doesn't control me. How can Lindeners see these things and just walk past and think it's okay? Because our leaders are failing us. Our mayor, our councillors, our regional chairman, our members of parliament, the members of parliament, first of all, should have come here and ripped this sign off the gate. And so you can't tell all Lindeners where they have to go and where they can't go. What are we doing to ourselves? What are we accepting, eh, brother? Morning, morning. Right is correct every time. All right. The day will come. If you don't stand up, the day will come when some of y'all will realize that when you show up to a certain venue, it's no longer open to the public, like this one here. You show up somewhere else, or you try to get a piece of land, no, it's not owned by Lindeners. It's happening to you all already if you don't know that. You try to go to get some business done, no, it's not available for you. Do you know the report states from the member parliament that 70% of the contracts in Linden are given to people not Lindeners? What does that tell you all? So out of every 10 contracts, 7 go to people outside Linden. You are being economically oppressed in your own town, and your leaders are strategizing. We can't do this, we have to stand. This is beyond politics. This is about people standing for their right in their community and understand that if you don't take a stance, what will happen to you? My brothers and sisters in Linden, McKenzie Sports Club belongs to us. So somebody in Facebook is asking the question, are the elites in Guyana funding the project? Exactly. Or is it the people of Guyana? This money has mixed up. That's what you want to know. Exactly. They said, listen, Ramsden said that in order to get money from China, the government of Guyana, as they call it, it's really the administration, had to show that they own sports club. So what they did is they say, all right then, Nissel, you sign this over. Nissel doesn't own this. So suddenly Nissel became the owner. Then the other thing you heard is that it's not the Chinese, it's money that was budgeted that's being spent here. Because there's a budget for 3 facilities to be upgraded. So we don't even know where the money is coming from. And imagine the law states that you can't do that either. So tell us, when you're driving in Insurance Parks in the East Bank, there's a sign that says future site for the Damara Harbor Bridge. State land. That's what you see. How I don't see a signage saying state land behind me? In Region 3, there's a sign showing $1.3 billion for this road project. You can see a big billboard. This is what the roads would look like. In Region 6, there's a huge sign, a big sign, showing what the stadium would look like. Morning, brother. But Region 10 don't deserve that kind of respect. Because according to what Charles said, we will get respect when we support what they're doing. So you only deserve respect in Linden when you support what the PPP is doing for you. How could that be right, people? We don't have the right to disagree anymore in this country. How can you only respect people who support you? Is that what the law of Guyana dictates? Is that what one Guyana is about? Brothers and sisters, open your eyes. The old people tell you all, what you can see in the day, don't wait till night time to take fire stick and see it. Learn. What you can see now, deal with it now. Don't wait. There's a suggestion that we should leave this to just keep carrying on, go on as it is. Hey, Chopper, good to see you, brother. People suggest we just leave it, and then when they finish, we take it back. Really? So if you can't demand anything when they're building it, what can you demand when it's done? Hey, brother. No. Because we don't know what it will be when it's finished. So what are we taking back? We are demanding that there be answers given to us, the people, by Ramson. The first question that he has to answer is, how could Nissel give to the government, as they call it, what is not theirs? He has to say when Nissel acquired this from the members of the club. We need to know that. Now I know, Ramsey, you might have to expose some people. I know that in order to answer these questions, some Lindeners will have to roll, because some names will have to be called as that they were a part of the arrangement to sign off whatever it is. We are standing here today. My brother, good to see you. This is my brother right here with me. We have to have answers. And of course, I'll have Mr. Thomas, Apostle Thomas, talk to us as always, because he stood with me even with, we stood together actually with the Frank Anthony's portion from Fauci. But this is, to me, this is even worse to some extent, because this is a whole town being held hostage. Now he's older than me, so according to the record of age, he's supposed to know more about this sports club history than I do. So my brother, let me take this mic up. Can you please tell us, according to what you know about sports club, who owned this facility? For all the years you know about it.
This facility, okay, good morning everyone. This facility is owned by the people of Linden.
And Ramson said
it was handed over to this particular township by Denver, of which my father was a part of Denver in the 50s and the 60s, along with a whole lot of his friends who came from the islands of Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and Trinidad. As a school child, St. Aidan's Anglican School, I remembered having to climb the stairway at the McKenzie Sports Club ground to do a social studies assignment. And I'm talking all the way back in 1971, 72, thereabout, where we were looking at places in Linden. We had the Cenotaph, I remember the Cenotaph in particular, and the McKenzie Sports Club ground. And I remembered seeing this plaque stating when the ground was given over, when the pavilion was given over. We also had to do the history of the bauxite industry. When was bauxite found here at Linden? All these things we had to do. Then as a primary school student, later on about 3rd and 4th standard, we started visiting the sports club ground for the Mayfair,
Wow.
as well as championships in athletics in particular. I remember as a high school student coming out here to watch cycling, to watch the Gaimine Games. I enjoyed the Gaimine Games right here. This facility was multi-purpose. The teacher of physical education at the Christianburg Wisma Secondary School that I attended in 1976, they trained here for hockey.
Yes.
The teacher's name is Mrs. Gwendolyn George Albert. She was a hockey trainer, and they practiced right here. All the major inter-school athletics championships were held here, along with football. Cricket was also played, because I remembered as a youngster, a Pakistani team visited Linden. That's in the 70s. Leonard Bachan was the captain for the Guyana team that time. You had guys like Sushiv Narain playing on that team. I think there was a Timur Muhammad and Mark Harper also. They played right out here. When I became head teacher of multi, and while I was a senior at McKenzie High School, we took part in athletics meet right here, the inter-secondary and inter-primary athletics meet. So now, I read a few articles that were posted online, and the most I can say about the minister who overlooks youth sports and culture in this country is that Mr. Charles Ranson is a deceptive young man.
Yeah.
He is a deceptive young man.
Brother.
How is it you can say in one article that the ground is owned by the people of Linden?
Right.
Moreover, it's a club in which there is membership. I am not a member per se, but I visit the sports club ground on a regular basis once they have any activity. How is it you can push the board aside? You push the board aside. You claim that you had a meeting with some of the executives.
Right.
Now my concern is, was there a quorum? If you need to have a meeting, it's got to be with all of the executive. Am I to believe that you have on that committee, on that board, a few numbskulls, a few dunderheads, a few little pimps? Your PPP pimps sitting on the board, and then they came to your meeting knowing that the answer would be, we will give this over under the table, under the cover of darkness, to the government. Moreover, you lied. You have even lied to the Chinese now by saying that you have ownership of this facility. NESIL does not own the McKenzie Sports Club ground.
Exactly.
NESIL owns lands in particular, and I think they have some kind of ownership of the Watuka Club.
Right.
But in terms of the McKenzie Sports Club ground, they have no ownership. So you lied in order, you use your guise, you use great deception, you use manipulation, you use control to get the sports club. Then there's a young idiot, I call him an idiot, one by the name of Yannick Charles. And I am happy I was never your teacher. Because if you were my student, you would not have behaved like that. My students don't behave like that. My students behave like Apostle Nigel London.
Thank you, sir.
That's how my students behave. They are able to stand up and speak up on the side of what is right. You now with your silly behind, a young dictator, a new age fat cat, had the audacity to say until Lindeners start coming on board with your program, then they will get respect. Now, where did you come from, young man? I know your father. Your father is Greg Charles. I know your father too. Where did you come from with that bad attitude? That level of arrogance and ignorance will not be accepted. And I'm going to tell you this, Sonny. I want to be your friend on Facebook so I can fix your business. I'm not one of those people who will stand idly by and allow people like you, a little Johnny come lately. You are the new kid in town. You are a Johnny come lately, opening your mouth to say those things, and you are the liaison for the minister.
Exactly.
The minister should fire you because you are anti-progress. You think that you're for progress. You're anti-progress. You are too troublesome for us, and basically stupid, because only stupid, irresponsible people would make such statements. Folks here at Linden, you need to understand that you have been grossly disrespected by this particular government.
Yes.
And while you are sleeping and saying it does not concern you, it's highly possible by the time you awaken from your slumber or your coma, it looks more like a coma, it is not slumber, this is a coma. By the time you are aroused from your coma, Linden might be totally controlled by these dictators. This is no longer a democratic government. That's how a dictatorship behaves. They walk in and they take over. I remember as a youngster when Egbert Benjamin was our mayor, and any dignitary is coming into Linden, they had to report. They had to report to certain persons here at Linden. In some cases, folk will go all the way to Millie's to welcome them in. Why is it you people, when you come to Linden, you just sneak in here? What are you afraid of? Nobody's going to harass you. All we want you to do is to follow what is written in the Constitution. Why is it you refer to the Constitution when it is convenient to you? But when it is supposed to be referred to, you duck and hide. You are a brood of wicked men and women, bent on pushing your own wicked agenda. And you might be saying, oh, it's just London and Thomas and a few other persons standing there. But let me tell you, there is something called, a principle called the power of one.
Right.
It took one Nelson Mandela to stand up against apartheid. It took one Mahatma Gandhi to stand up against the British.
Right.
It took one Martin Luther King Jr. to stand up in America. It only takes one. It never takes the crowd, because most times in the crowd of 1,000 you have 900 hypocrites and another 90 who might be frenemies. They just appear as though they are supporting. But folks here at Linden, we are standing on the threshold of hostile takeover. And unless you arise and speak up, you will be pushed all the way into the mud. I need us to understand what's going on here at Linden. This might appear as something simple. They are testing the waters right now.
Right.
And once the waters appear smooth and calm, they will take over. We are not against progress. I enjoy progress. I enjoy development. But you do not bully your way in. You show respect for those who are in authority here at Linden. You don't just come in now. I'm asking the question. Do we have contractors here in Guyana who could have done this project?
Yes.
Why is it you had to go all the way to Trinidad to bring someone here? And I saw footage where a Trinidadian had the audacity to tell Mr. Nigel London that he cannot film anything that's going on in there, when the Constitution gives us the right as citizens of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana to vet and observe and report on any project that's being done in our country. As Guyanese, that's our right. We can walk in, look around, and make our comments. And because of social media, we can post it on social media. Since when? Since when Trinis can come into our country and dictate to us what we do?
Right.
I went to Trinidad many times. I passed through Piarco Airport. And I went in the time when they were hostile to Guyanese. I could not say much to them in their country. I had to abide and then complain to my Guyanese folk who were in the position to defend me. Now you got a Trini. I'm wondering if his business is registered. I'm wondering who might be getting kickbacks from him, because somehow I'm inclined now to believe that PPPC does not mean People Progressive Party, Civic. I think the C means corruption. Right. People's Progressive Party, corruption. So they are progressing in corruption. I think that's what the C means. What does he have to hide by telling London, you can't film nothing here? And Linden seemed to be asleep. I don't want to hear 5-10 years down the road, if we had only known, we would have.
Right.
That is why we're out here, sending a strong signal to government and saying to government, what you are doing is wrong. You do not walk into a community and try to take over like that.
No.
All stakeholders should have been called in. If it's one thing I know about Linden, is that we got people who went to school far. We're not dunderheads.
No, sir.
We are not dunderheads. The people who are standing here, all of us attended secondary school. Some of us went to college and university. We ain't dunderheads. And we make up not a small percentage of Linden. We make up a large percentage of Linden. Most of Linden have educated people. Most of Linden. So don't take your eyes and pass us. We ain't dunderheads. We can read, we can write, and we know how to pronounce words properly. We know how to pronounce our words properly. So don't take us lightly. We might not have all of the world's goods, but we're not stupid.
Right.
We are not as dull as we look. We are brighter than that. Our color might appear dull, but our brains are awfully brilliant. Be careful. Y'all messing with the wrong crew. Now, getting back to Sports Club Ground. If you check the history of Linden, we have been known as the most dominant region when it comes to inter-school athletics championship at the national level.
Yes.
If they had in the Republic of Guyana 30 championships, Region 10 would have won about 24. We dominated that. Then, when you look at digital football, Linden dominated digital football. The multilateral school, 5 championships, and they pulled off 4. Milo championship, we dominated that. Just recently, as last year, multi pulled it off. Guy Oil, we dominate that. Then we go to swimming and cycling, and we dominate there too. Basketball, we dominate. Now I know of 2 coaches here at Linden, and they have no place to coach their athletes. Johnny Gray Zandi, a former student of mine, McKenzie High School. Glenton Moses Pantless, my neighbor from 3rd Alley, and my god brother. My mother was his godmother, so we're close. These 2 men have been able together, along with folks like Wanda Richmond and Camille Cummins and Mayfield Taylor Trim, these and the late Bertram Hamilton. These folks have been able to pull together athletes over the years. There's a girl who even represented Guyana at the Olympics.
Right.
They pulled together those athletes, and most of our athletes trained right in the McKenzie Sports Club ground. Most of them train right here. Now, you have shut that off. I need to understand this. You shut this place down, and still region number 10 went to nationals and had a clean sweep. We took all the championships at the last national inter-schools championship. We had a clean sweep. What is it you're trying to do? Are you trying to stifle Linden? Are you trying to squeeze Linden? Well, you need to learn this. I can tell it, I never taught any of you basic science. You need to learn this. When you put things under pressure, they become better. You need to understand that. When you look at how metamorphic rocks are formed, it's because of pressure and temperature. When you look at how diamonds are formed, it's because of pressure and temperature. When you look at how petroleum is formed, it's pressure and temperature. So we will not submit to you. It is impossible for us to submit to you. We can handle pressure. This is one region I know that can handle pressure. However, I know we have some soft leaders, some soft-skinned males. They walk as though they're males, but their hearts are soft on the inside of their bodies. They have no strength in their spines. They are weaker than jellyfish. They are weak. They are jelly beans. Jelly beans. They cannot germinate either. They don't have the life to germinate. They are weaklings. We've got members of parliament. I haven't heard a word from them. Mr. Figuera, I haven't heard from you, sir. I haven't heard from the other young man. I don't remember his name. Sears. Now, once I don't remember your name, it means that you are not important. I haven't heard from the mayor. Madam Mayor, are you busy putting up photographs of yourself on Facebook? How pretty, beautiful, and nice you look. Why aren't you engaging these people in open dialogue and letting them know that you cannot walk into a township and bully the people? Why are you not doing that? Well, I'm coming back to my friend Johnny. So last championship, I am in Amelia's ward, and I'm out at Lover's Lane, and I see athletes training on the highway. Now the highway is hard road. Yes. What about the shock that the body would have to absorb? Yes. That can affect these children when they become adults. You're saying that we've got to go to Bay Rock where the synthetic track is. Come on, people, are you so daft? You cannot practice on a synthetic track every day. 7 days a week for hours. After a while, remember, it's called synthetic. It's going to break up faster because it's not the real stuff. Then you're saying to us that we got to take football to Bay Rock only. This is a huge township. This is a huge township. You cannot dictate to us where we play our football. What you were supposed to do, you did not do. You were supposed to have a general meeting right here at Sports Club upstairs. Invite the membership.
And the community.
Invite community leaders and listen to our ideas. Hello, I ran a school for 16 years. And that is how I was successful. It was never Mr. Thomas alone. It was Mr. Thomas and his team of teachers, parents, students, and neighborhood people. And I kept out all those who tried to dictate and bully themselves on me. That is why I was classified as a rebellious head teacher, because I never allowed people to dictate to us what should go on at that institution. You were supposed to call the people in, sit with us, and then say, what is it you would like to do for the region in terms of this facility? And then you listen to our ideas. That's how things work. Because remember, 2 eyes, 4 eyes are better than 2. And when you have much counsel, you can make better decisions. And then when everyone feels as though they are involved in it, they will now lend their support. But you just walk in it because you are the big bad wolf. Let me tell you, I can tell you go to nursery school for too long. Like you drop it in the first year. Or if you make it pass, you ain't go far in primary school. Because there is a story and it asks, who is afraid of the big bad wolf? Right. You need to understand, no matter how much you huff, you puff, and you try to blow the house down, you can blow the house down that's made out of sticks. And the one that's made out of straw. But there's a third little pig who wise. There's a third little pig who's strong. There's a third little pig who will strategize. There's a third little pig who knew his rights. There's a third little pig who will stand up against you, wolf. And you're going to huff and you're going to puff. And when you think you got it all covered, you can be destroyed. Your own pride and arrogance will return to bite you. All of you who's sitting there high on the hog, behaving as though you little demigods, I call you new age fat cats, you're going to get a touch up. This kind of behavior is unacceptable. Why couldn't you come off of your high horse? And I must say, I noticed that's the problem with these present leaders, including Mr. Todd. And Mr. Todd is my third cousin. I'm going to open my mouth here. Todd, your grandmother was my great aunt. You, Mr. Todd, you came and stayed at our house at the back of Third Alley. Phillips and myself grew up together at the back of Third Alley. Why aren't you all representing your region?
Exactly.
That is my concern. And Todd, I could say this openly. I never asked you for any perks. I could tell that openly. The only time I called you requesting some help was when my daughter-in-law had applied to become a citizen of the Republic of Guyana. And she did not just apply because she wanted to become a citizen. She is a law-abiding citizen and she's contributing to the health sector. She's a medical doctor.
That's right.
And you didn't have to push nothing for me. In the end, somebody did their job well and she got through. So let me just clear the air one time, because you might want to talk your stupidness. And I older than you. Good. So be careful. Don't get me vexed now. Alright. Let me behave myself. We need to understand, Londoners, I'm talking to you now. If you continue to behave as though it does not concern you, you will lose all of your history. This present administration is trying to rewrite the history of Guyana and of Linden. I do hope at the end of all that's going on in there, I don't see no big signboard mark the Kashif and Shanghai Sports Club ground.
There's another thing right there.
Because I saw a picture years ago. I won't say more on that right now, but I saw a picture years ago. I was at the multi-school as head teacher still, and a computer was open to me, and I saw a picture on a computer. We cannot afford, as Londoners, to allow persons to walk in here and persons to say things like, until we come alongside the program and support, then they're going to show us respect. It is a human right to be respected by all. It's a human right. You have to respect us. And Mr. Yannick Charles, you might have to eat back those same words. You would have to eat back those same words. Because what I do know in this life, what goes around, it don't just comes around, it doubles around. I do hope when it comes back at you, you'll be able to take it. But until such time, we will continue to stand against the atrocities. We will continue to fight against it. As I said earlier, we are not against progress.
No.
We are not against development, but it must follow the established pattern as stated in the Constitution. I remember many projects were done here at Linden. 1999 going on to 2000, I went up to the Amelia's Ward. I was building a house up there, and right down Lovers Lane, just off the second corner, there was a big board there showing us the map of Amelia's Ward, showing us the various roads and streets in Amelia's Ward. We were able to see on board what the layout of Amelia's Ward would look like. That particular phase that they were doing then, Lovers Lane all the way back to where the police outpost is, that entire street area, they had it on a big board. I remember that. I also remembered going to all the regions and seeing work being done, and there was the big billboard there. I call it billboard. A big board was there showing us what was going on. In some cases, they even state who is the contractor and the cost for the project and who was funding the project. Now I come to McKenzie Sports Club ground, and what do I see? I see nothing. All I see here, restricted area, unauthorized persons keep out. Now I am not unauthorized.
Exactly.
I am not unauthorized. I was born in British Guyana. And I grew up in independent Guyana. I ain't no just scum. My first birth certificate has me born at Wisma, Linden, British Guyana. Back then it was G-U-I-A-N-A. I need to understand that. So I'm not an unauthorized person. But I will not jump over the fence because I'm more dignified than that. I'm more dignified than that. But we have a right to enter this compound at any time to see what's going on. It's as simple as that. Mr. Minister, you need to recognize that you too are a public servant. And as a public servant, you have to serve.
That's right.
You don't behave as though you are some little god running about this place, waving your ugly wand. No, you are a public servant and a servant of the people. As a servant of the people, you cannot sit on a throne. You've got to come off your high horse and serve the people with great humility. With great humility. That's how you serve.
That's right.
You don't walk around with your chest in the air and all of that, passing laws and behaving as though you have total control over everything. We the people have the control. And it's only a matter of time. You see, once they have constitutional reform in this country, all of you gone.
Exactly.
That is why you all are afraid to reform the Constitution. Because you all know that if it comes down that each one of you got to be voted into your position, some of you will not even get 40 votes.
Never.
Even those of you in Linden who are representing Linden. Some of you who running around saying you're a member of parliament and you're from Linden, some of you cannot make 2,000 votes in Linden. You are not that respected by Lindeners any longer. I am grieved today to know that the ground that I access as a youngster and all of my teaching career, my 38 years of teaching, now it is being grabbed, wrenched from our hands by a small cabal.
Take away our sport.
You're trying to kill sports here at Linden. That is not possible. What is beautiful about Lindeners is that we have mastered the technique of survival. When you said in the 90s that we are a depressed community,
Right. Yep.
when you said in the 90s that Linden is a depressed community, look what happened in Amelia's ward. When you thought that you would have flooded Amelia's ward with share habitat houses because it's a depressed community, look at those large double-story frames and buildings that went up between 1997 to 2010. More than 1,000 households moved in to Amelia's ward. When you go to Wisma, you said it's a depressed community again. And look what's happening at Wisma. Houses running all the way. If you don't look sharp, they'll have to have probably phase 6 for West Rock. Because people who you think would have crumbled and died, they just band their bellies and they save their pennies and they request help from friends and relatives and they put down structures. It is impossible to kill the spirit of Lindeners. Right. You might be able to buy out a few jokers. Those who you're buying are the jokers in the pack. And I'm tempted to call some names of some jokers, but I'm going to leave them for another time. All of them who get a little $3 million to do a contract.
Right.
And a little $6 million to do a contract. And they get a little money and now they're showing off as though they have arrived. Little do they know that $6 million and $3 million is just a crumb, not even a slice. It's just a crumb.
Right.
You're being treated worse than a slave. But because you get a little pittance, you're running around as though you're a little god too. Huh? You better rest yourself. This particular facility, and I want to know, where is the president or the chairman of the board for sports club? Where is he?
You not see the president. He can't be found yet.
Where is Mr. Avery Trim? I know your name, and you know that I know you, and you know that you know me. Where are you, sir? Were you the one they invited to the meeting alone? Because I know their tactics. They like to isolate and then pressurize.
Right.
They isolate and then they pressure.
Morning.
They are scared of the whole group coming together. So it's what divide and rule, divide and conquer. Where are you, Mr. Trim? We need a statement from you as the president of the McKenzie Sports Club board.
Yeah.
Where are you, sir? Do you want me to come to LECI? I don't have a problem coming up there. I could drive up there when I'm done just to find out and put you on the air where you make a statement. I know that you're always neatly dressed for the camera. Where are you, sir? I need answers. All we're asking for is answers. How much money did the Chinese give over for this project? We don't know.
No, that's right.
We don't know. How many persons are on the payroll? I don't want to be on the payroll. No, I don't want to be on your payroll. But I just want to know what's going on. Come on, like the Marvin Gaye song. Talk to me.
Right.
Talk to me. So you can see what's going on. That's all we want to know. You don't just walk into a place. Walking into a place like this is equal to stealing. It's like if you jumped the fence and got in.
Right.
You jumped the fence and got in. You jump over everybody's head. You probably reported to a few jokers who belong to your party. But they are not of any consequence to me. You are supposed to report to the authorities that be, and also call a general meeting of the membership of the sports club and other stakeholders, not behind no closed doors, in the open. If you do not want to appear suspicious, do it in the light.
Right.
Anything that's done in darkness leads to persons questioning in their mind, why did they move under the cover of darkness? Right. What is the secrecy about? Right. Is this some Freemasonry lodge? What's going on in this place, man? What's going on in this place? Now let me address the religious groups in this Linden region. All you preachers around Linden, don't you know the same book you read says that we are supposed to cry aloud,
right,
and spare not?
Don't be selective.
Don't you know that the same book you read states clearly that Yahweh hates an unjust balance? You cannot just speak up on issues when it is convenient to you. You have to speak up when it is wrong. That's how you speak. Once it's wrong, you speak out against it. When it's right, you compliment it. Am I to believe that you men and women of the religious arm here at Linden, your hands are in the cookie jar? Who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? Huh? Is it number one or number two? Who stole the cookie? Am I to believe that your hands are in the soup and you're licking your fingertips? Little do you know that you are slow poisoning yourself with deception and deceit. Why aren't you speaking up on the side of righteousness? Why are you so quiet? Are you going to make this a matter of prayer?
Right.
Are you going to bind some kind of spirit? There's no spirit here to be bound. Injustice is what we're speaking out against. Were you going to meet tonight with your brooms and call down heaven? No angel coming down now to look after this. We are the voice in the earth.
Right.
We are the voice in the earth to speak up. Why aren't you speaking up? Or are you afraid? Are you afraid that the donations will cease?
Right.
Are you afraid that the donations will cease?
Favors gone.
Are you a part of the friends, family, and favorites? Talk to me. Are you a part of the friends, family, and favorites? Well, I don't need to be a part of the friends, family, and favorites. I need to just stand up on the side of what is right and let Londoners know the sports club belongs to us. And like Mighty Gabby, who said, Jack don't want me to bathe on my beach. If you all don't look sharp, this can become out of reach. If you don't look sharp, this facility, which says restricted area, unauthorized persons keep out. Well, here now, I gonna get an authorization. I gonna get an authorization. I need to go in here to see. I want an aerial view. I want the view of what it looks like and what it's going to be. Well, we already know the president said it's a cricket. ICC. No, it's going to be a set for the ICC. So probably next World Cup we get matches coming here. I see. Interesting.
CPL.
Now I don't understand, because Ranson is saying one thing and the president is saying another thing, and then Yannick Charles is saying nonsense.
Exactly.
That's confusion. I cannot operate well when leaders are so confused. Y'all make up your mind. Folks, I thank you for listening. But we'll be here letting the world know that a facility belonging to the people of Linden is being wrenched from us by this government, by this administration, who claimed in 2020 March to be defenders of democracy, when they very well know that they're a bunch of dictators. Dictators, breeding, walking, smelling, smiling dictators. But there would always be a remnant who will push back against your dictatorship. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, my brother. And you've heard from the one and only. The one and only. So I'm going to walk to this ground to find out from people in here what makes me an unauthorized person. We have two law enforcement officers who would have come. Of course, their job is to keep the peace, so they can assist me to inquire from these people in here what makes me unauthorized. You can't be a member of a club. You can never be a member of a club. You're a paying member of a club, a member of a community. Development is being done in your community, and you are unauthorized to enter to see what's happening. That doesn't happen in any part of the world that's called democratic, especially Guyana. So we're here to see, or to find out from these people, what makes us unauthorized, and who are the persons authorized to come to this facility that's a public venue. So we need to know. Morning! They coming? So we're standing in an open area. Police can come and see what's happening as well. That's the middle here. That's what we call the middle in cricket terms. All right? You've got the drain right by the sign there. There's a drain. Every Lindoner has the right to see what's happening in here. All right? This is our facility. All right? So we have a right to know what's happening in here. We have a right to know from Charles Ramson what is going on in here. All right? So what makes us unauthorized? That's what we need to know as we stand here this morning. What makes Guyanese unauthorized to see what is being spent, what's being done, to see who is working in here? There are Guyanese who've complained to me that they do not have the rights as Guyanese to benefit just as Trinidadians are benefiting in here. So there's a disparity even in reference to payment. You see where the tractor is? There is a concrete gutter running there. So this ground has a 400-meter track for athletes to practice. We don't have that any longer. All right? So we have come to this ground this morning to find out what makes us unauthorized people. And let me show you my face. I am here as a citizen of this country, as a resident of this town, along with other residents here. And the 2 police officers here. The officers of law could inform me as to how these Trinidadians could tell me I'm unauthorized to be in a ground that's owned by me. Because what Ramson failed to tell all as well is that anything called government property is owned by the state. The state happens to be the people. So don't matter how you twist and turn it, it's owned by the people. If they claim NISIL, give it to the government, then NISIL give it to the state. The state is the people. The government of Guyana doesn't own anything. APNU, AFC, PNC, PPP, you don't own anything but your house and your car. Even the vehicles you drive in belong to taxpayers. You don't own anything. They are state-owned. So these Trinidadian people here can tell me what makes me unauthorized. And if you unlock this gate, I will knock off the lock with a padlock.
Exactly.
Just know that.
Exactly.
You can't lock me with anything in my country.
Exactly.
Because when Americans will stop me off from going on the beach in Trinidad, you all kick up.
Exactly.
But you come to Guyana to rule what's going on here? If you put a padlock on, tell your boss, if you put a padlock on this gate, I'm going to break it off. Because in the first place, we have to know which Guyanese was disqualified from working in this ground here. You got Child Series. You got so many other contractors. No Guyanese can work here. Morning, Chief. It's all right, you get a chance to come and work, but you come and disrespect us too. What happened, man? You got a concrete drain on the ground. Concrete drain. So where are we playing here?
That's cricket alone.
I almost lose my... Let me say this. When I was a teenager, into school.
Right.
School sports. I'm the young man who went all the schools. Was here. The shot put.
You the young man? Hitting your head?
Man. I'm the individual who almost lost my leg when all the schools them was here. And when Father permit me to go back into my body and come back, when I think all these pavilions here was filled with people. Outside there was cars.
Right.
Even the police, them, everybody go away and left me on the ground. You know what Father did? Leave back 2 of my classmates when I get back into my body. And pick me up when I open back my eyes, right where that white truck is there, right there I felt. When a civilian came and
help
picked
you out.
up the shot put and threw it, and myself when I finished my high jumping, and another individual racing with the speed that I got.
Right.
I went past him. An individual just came out and I standing up for this.
Thank you, brother.
I'm standing up for this, and I'm standing up for this for my next generation.
So am I. So am I.
Also, I'm a financial member.
So am I.
This that giving back for my grandparents.
So, brother, if you're a financial member and you're paying to use the facility, are you supposed to know what's happening in this facility?
Exactly.
Were you ever told what's happening here?
No.
Were you ever shown a picture of what's happening here?
No.
Were you ever told what will happen when it's all finished?
No.
And we financial members.
And we are financial members. Secondly, I have the history. The history of this McKenzie Sports Club ground, the history of Region 10 is here, and I'm going to stand up.
I appreciate it.
My great-grandparents and my ancestors' blood, sweat, and tears
Right here.
ensure that we have a facility so that their children, grandchildren, great-grand can be here. And somebody come in and take it away without informing me what you're doing just like that? No, I'm not accepting it.
Thank you. We're not accepting that. And I'm happy to hear from the young man.
As leaders and even as residents of this region, you just can't come into our tongue and just do what you feel like.
I agree.
No, you have to consult. Let us sit down and dialogue I'm not against development.
Correct.
We all need development.
Correct.
But the type of development and the way you're doing it.
And how it's being done. Thank you.
You're bullying me in for development. For I to accept what you want. You're not listening to me what I need. It's not what you want. It's what we need for the next generation. Thanks.
Thank you so much. So somebody is saying here, and I want everybody to hear what they're saying, that when this is finished, when the Chinese money is spent and this is done, they're going to give it back to us. Now you're all going to buy that, right? So how you took it? That's the first thing you have to establish. How did you take it? And in taking it, how can you have people in here saying, we can't record? I tell you, I have reports that Guyanese are working less hours. You have issues whereby Guyanese are not being treated equally. That's happening with Exxon right now. They're extracting our oil and paying us Guyanese less. So we need to know how many Londoners are working, because in Region 3, the people told this administration, this what you call government, Region 3 people got to work here. That's Ali's home region, and it's okay. So I need to know how many Londoners are working in here, and if they're being paid properly in here. So you're getting the answer. Few people are working in here. Why? Why? We have engineers in this town.
No tendering documents, nothing.
We have engineers who went to Eugene Linden.
No tendering documents.
A big concrete drain.
What's the name of the company? If the company qualified to do such.
We don't even know.
We don't know these things.
And here you have a sign.
They dismantle our structures. We see no trying.
We don't know what it would look like.
To dismantle these buildings.
So Guyanese have come. Why did Guyanese come in this ground this morning? Because they have a sign at the gate saying, unauthorized person must keep out. How you could tell me I'm unauthorized to enter my club?
This is my club. This is my club. I'm a financial member.
You heard from Mr. Thomas. There's history here. My daughter behind me ran in this ground. My children have run here.
I almost lost my life here. So then why should I give up my legacy?
Now you have an ICC facility. They say that I need to have safety equipment to come into this ground. Where's the danger? What gonna follow me from here? What? Now when this pavilion here was falling and knocking people all over the place, nobody was fixing it.
When we requested for this hearing to fix, the same administration refused to fix it. Now you coming to collect my thing unknowing to me.
We are demanding. There's none of them asking here. We need to know how many of our countrymen have rights to work in here, and are they being paid fairly? Are they being treated fairly? No. Even the Ministry of Labor has to be involved in it, because you can't have a facility. You tell me Guyanese can't do what is being done in here? And then we've been told we can't come in here because we're unauthorized. Well, what make me unauthorized as Guyanese? Put me out. That's what I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see somebody tell me this morning that I can't walk in this ground and I can't show you all what's happening here. You got a big... You have a huge concrete drain, I'm telling you all, around an oval in this ground, a concrete drain. What is going to happen? This is for cricket. And that's what Irfan Ali said it. This is a cricket facility. Now we have a basketball court behind here. We don't know what's going to happen to it. You got Brushy used to play basketball. Ulrich Tappin. Neil Charles and Niels and these boys. Steve Niels. We don't know what's going to happen here. Niles. What's going to happen here? We don't know what's going to happen to the basketball court. We don't know what's going to happen to the swimming pool. But we're the problem. No, we need to know. I'm going to check right now. Because the other day, Ramson was here. Kashif's son was here. Yannick Charles, your liaison officer, was here. Media was here. Nobody had PPE on. Walk PPE, walk all around the ground. When I came in here, it's a problem. I need to know. Our pavilion was taken from us. It's now become a housing facility for people working here. We don't know that. The lounge, the members' lounge upstairs, you can't use it because it's now a housing facility. And they tell me, I can't walk in there with my shoes on. Y'all hear these things that happen to Guyanese people? Are we supposed to roll over and accept this? This is my third or fourth time coming here. The gentleman has a right to tell me what's happening here. What I could tell you all live before I leave here is this. There is no way that these people could work on this ground without a plan. So Ramson has to tell me, how could this company have a plan that we can't see? They're not waking up every morning to figure out what to do next.
Exactly, but you're not going by Ramson.
I ain't got to wear Ramson, I go by you.
Go to the right place.
No. There's a right place, because it's me place.
It's just like likes, you know. You come into the lowest people. We have an instruction. Go to the people.
Show me the plan.
If you want to affect change, go to the people.
Show me the plan. Who y'all went in Trinidad when the Americans say I can't on the beach? Go to Ramson.
Go to the right place.
No, there's a right place here. He got to meet me here.
I support what you're doing by doing
Brother. Ramson is my servant. He got to meet me here. Ramson is my God.
But you come every day. You come in.
He got to meet me here.
You coming now.
What you telling me?
Do the right one, you'll get through.
I could make no, the right place, he has to come to me. I don't go to him. He's my servant.
Come every day.
We treat politicians wrong in our country. Across the Caribbean this happen. They feel it bigger than us. They're servants to the people. I need to see what's happening in this ground. I ain't come to disturb anybody. Peace. I came to see what's happening here to us as a people. Hey, brother, morning. You got a huge drain all across this ground and we can't see what's happening. No, Caribbean people at large must understand that the leaders have got this British mentality where they could rule you, not serve you. They got to stop. The people here have to have a plan with which they're going to work. Where is the plan? That's what we're saying as members. Show us the plan. That's what we're saying as community residents. Show us the plan. Now what's happening to us in this place? Alright, look, works are being done here. The pavilion, this pavilion you see here, was donated to us as to members. Donated to McKenzie Sports Club. Alright? What rights we got left in this country, man? How many hours y'all work a day? Can you tell me? 8? Yeah. Everybody work 8 or some people working overtime?
Some work and we wait till we get our work. Most days we come to work well packed lunch in the bar and we work in past man and we don't work for them. So we are in there, man.
No work? See, y'all getting paid?
But when we do, we see fellow colleagues are working, who from a city where them are working, but we come from and we get to know.
Wait, you got people from out of there working here?
Yeah, every day. And we from London, they already get to work. Every 5 nights we drive with money. Some 5 nights, 4 or 5 days, so we work for 5 nights and everything.
No, brother, no.
I don't care from Africa there, no business.
We bridge the gate, you say? You heard people say, we bridge the gate? Man, this fella serious. We breach the gate in our community, in our facility, at our ground. We breach the gate. These people can't be serious, man. They can't be serious. We breach the gate? Man, you gotta be kidding me. Hey, brother. We came because we are protesting what's happening to us in the community. We are guardians of our nation. We breach the gate. I want to show you all the concrete drain on this ground. Look, let me show you closely what's this. I want anybody to explain to me, one, how are we putting a 400-meter track in this facility and all the rest of it, right? Because athletics is supposed to be, it's a multi-purpose facility. See that? Look at this. So all those who are ignorant and talking, tell me why you have an oval drain, concrete drain, in a multi-purpose facility. You can explain that to us, please. Help us to understand that. Because we need an understanding as to why things are happening in our community. We need an understanding as to who gave the okay for it to happen. And as far as I'm aware, they say the executive gave the okay. So which executive gave the okay to completely transform this place? Completely change it. Mr. Joe Hamilton, Ministry of Labor, I'm asking you properly this morning, to investigate the claims by workers here. There are workers on this ground who are not working. We need answers. All right? We are managers of our state. According to Article 13, Article 48A, Article 149C, we are managers of this state. 38. We are managers of the state. Guyana has to change. We, the people, manage our country through representation. Politicians don't manage Guyana. They represent Guyanese. So Trinidadian brothers of the view that I should go to Ramsey. No, Ramsey comes to me. And I can make him come to Linden. Y'all watch this. We will make him end up in Linden. I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what to do to make him show up here. Because he's the person who said that this facility is owned by Lindeners. That's what he said. In 2021, that's what he said. January, it's reported in the news. It's owned by us. Now suddenly he said because they had to get money from Chinese, NISL gave it to the government. What foolishness are you telling me? So when did NISL become Lindeners? We're not taking this. And again, I'm grateful that police officers understand their role. They haven't come to harass me and grab our shoulder and anything like that. They came to see that I don't misbehave. But I'm misbehaving, officer. Today's not a misbehaving day. I never will. But somebody has to understand that Guyanese will not lose our rights. We can't. The day we lose our rights as Guyanese in our country, we are finished. I want the contractor to come to my face and tell me I can't come in here, but he ain't coming. We have young Guyanese men, we have Lindeners who telling us in report, Joe Hamilton, this is official. A complaint. You got people in this ground who are sitting here saying they're Lindeners, they don't have a job. But people from outside of Linden coming and working and they have to sit and watch them work. That is wrong. We need answers. Today begins my official stance. I'll be back here on Wednesday morning or on Friday morning. I'm going to inform you because this is not going to stop. The executive of this club, you have a right to give a live report to the people about what's happening here. I understand that people asked for cricket to be played as years ago. They didn't ask it to be a cricket stadium. What are we living to see? And then you got preachers who's too scared to stand and say anything. Y'all hiding in some hole somewhere, you're afraid. Well, when your whole town is being bulldozed. Joseph Hamilton, you are Minister of Labor. You have to look into this claim. You can't have a work site. You should never have complaints of this nature whereby in the town, because in Region 3, the people said, we got to work here. This is we region. That's Ali region, and people had to work. They said, don't bring nobody from outside Region 3 to work in this contract. We can work here. And they had to comply. But Lindeners, for some reason, are special people. So they can call all who they want to call. They could call up to Irfan Ali and let Ali come to this ground to tell me that I'm an unauthorized person. I need to know who is authorized to be here. They haven't answered me yet. I need to find out from this supervisor on this ground here who is authorized to come in here. Because if you have a sign at the gate that says no unauthorized persons is allowed, you need to tell me what makes a person unauthorized. You got workers coming to work, sitting down doing nothing. And then they say they're reporting that they're not being paid properly. So we need answers. We demand answers. This is not going down like that. We have to have answers. How are we unauthorized? You have a big concrete drain here, oval, all around this ground. How are you playing soccer here? How are you playing football here? How would athletes train here? How would hockey be played? Well, the field is small enough, but we can't run up on the ICC pitch, the ICC standard pitch. What makes us unauthorized? We are paying members and we told that we unauthorized to come in here. So who authorized to come? So we expect answers. All right? The General Secretary is just walking to the ground. and he's been very, 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 very involved in seeing what's happening here in reference to trying to get a chance to somehow give us the right to know. Mr. Joe Chapman, a very, very popular sports journalist and other things here, has been working assiduously to even with this oval here, this drain here. I can ask, Mr. Chapman, were you told they put this oval drain around this ground here?
I wasn't told about the oval drain.
The concrete drain.
I really understood it to be when we saw the actuality of what's happening. We hadn't a plan, and we just...
You hadn't a plan?
We hadn't a plan. We have not seen a plan as yet.
Do you hear that? The general secretary of the McKenzie Sports Club is saying that they have not seen a plan. Do you all hear me? Because some people, you can't just make accusations against people. You have to know the facts. Of all people, the general secretary doesn't know what this facility would look like when it's finished. Can you tell us whether the basketball court will be restored and developed? No word.
No word.
What about the pool?
Neither.
Mr. Chapman, we read in the news, and you can say whether you're okay with being on camera, because I mean I don't want to violate your right. But this is a serious day for us here, because I saw an article by Royal Tony in 2021, where Charles Ramsden said that this facility is owned by the people of Linden.
Yeah, I read it.
Okay. Now I'm seeing another article that in Kaichun just said that NISIL handed this over to the government because they had to get money from the Chinese. Can you tell me whether, as an executive of this club, you signed any document to hand over this facility on behalf of the members to NISIL? Because we have to start from NISIL.
Well, yes. I did not sign any document. I am unaware of any other executive signing a document. But what I find is in 2019, NISIL came to find out from the MSC executive who owns the club.
Wait. Brothers and sisters, I want you to hear this carefully. In 2019, NISIL came to find out from the executives. They needed to inquire who owns this facility. Now, Mr. Chapman, you're a brilliant man. If NISIL owns this, do you expect them to come to ask you who owns it?
No. And the fact is that when the Minister of Sports came, my understanding is that he wanted permission from us, our cooperation as the executive and members, to allow the government to enhance and modernize the facility. We had no problem with that.
Modernize it to what? As is upgrading?
Upgrading.
Remodeling altogether?
Well, you see, we have been writing them to know exactly what it is that they meant by modernizing.
Right.
And to be an all-purpose facility, which it always has been.
Has always been.
So we wanted to know exactly to what extent they intend to modernize, as they call it. We haven't been able to see a drawing. In fact, there was a time, I think it was 2021, the Foreign Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I think the Chinese, and the Culture, Youth and Sports representative and an architect came with a pictorial of what they wanted to do. But the question is, what we saw did not represent actuality of what we're having here. It was one with a river at the side of it. Our impression was that maybe if there was a pushback from the MSC at the time, they would have been going to
Spike Thunder somewhere,
to McKenzie High School. However, they decided to scrap that drawing, the picture they would have shown us, to come back with what exactly they intend to do. We haven't seen anything since then.
Nothing since then.
Nothing.
So works have actually started here then, Mr. Chapman.
Yeah.
Without the executive, more so the membership and the community being shown exactly what is being done, as far as you're aware.
Yes, but we did not try to oppose any development of the facility, because in good faith we felt that in due course we would have been able to see what it is. We would even have an input as to what the final drawings would have been.
As is expected. You had any?
We have
none.
None whatsoever.
What were you told about the funding of this project in reference to the cost? Were you informed about that?
Well, when the minister came, he gave some costs. Yes, he did give some costs.
Can you say what it is? Can you recall?
I know it's a large sums of money.
Okay.
But that would have been covered. The government would have. That was concerning the new pavilion, etc.
Okay.
Well, we don't know what it would look like.
Oh.
But there was a cost attached. So it's strange that you have a cost attached to something that
you don't know what it looks like.
At least us,
right,
don't know what it will look like.
Wow. I'm genuinely concerned, as other Londoners are, because this is taking on a face that is dangerous for the community itself. We have got Mr. Johnny Gravesandi, who would have coached athletes and so on here. Are you curious as to whether they're going to have a 400-meter track here for athletes to train as well?
No. Let me go back to the cost. The costing that we're talking about. Yes, they were costing for the lights.
Okay.
And the ground, which we were still told that would have been accommodating all sports.
Okay.
Even though they said it's going to be IC and FIFA standards.
Okay.
So we did not press them as it relates to how is it that you're getting ICC and FIFA standards.
It can't happen.
But the thing is that we are understanding that you can't get FIFA and ICC standards at the same time.
No, not in the same pitch.
That's what
okay.
we have.
So, I mean, I'm concerned for the athletes because it seems to be a foregone conclusion that they will have to go to Bayrock. And they can't run on a synthetic track all the time. So, I don't know whether they told you all they have plans to bus the athletes there, to help them with transportation, to subsidize something. Because Mr. Gravesandi would coach a lot of people here, they come for keep fit classes and so on, especially the athletes I'm talking about, the international athletes, career fit athletes and so on. What happens to them?
Well, you know, it's interesting that recently our former high jumper, Bruce Butcher, would have been here.
A national champion.
National
yes.
high jump champion. And he would have paid the cost for 16 athletes, school athletes, because we know the economic situation. Right. Last year he paid for 16 of them to be members of the club. And when he was here about a week or so ago, he has paid for 1 year for 20 athletes.
Wow,
what
Mr. Bruce Butcher.
Bruce Butcher. What do we say to them if they cannot use the facility?
Oh my goodness, Mr. Chapman. So if Mr. Butcher would have paid for 20 athletes to be trained here by Mr. Johnny Gravesandi,
yes.
Now you have sprinklers and all that around the ground. What becomes of, indeed the question, what becomes of the athletes? Where are they? I see them on the road.
I know they were on the road for the national championships. Yes. I don't know where they are right now.
Oh my goodness.
But Mr. Gravesandi was in here and he was hopeful that the athletes can continue to at least train whenever it is finished.
Right.
The problem I'm seeing is that while the government maintains that this will be able to accommodate football and cricket, the amount of money that they would be spending for the cricket pitch is going to be a problem with football.
Because you're running directly the cleats, right?
Right.
On that pitch.
If there were some consultations, we had a draft that we had here concerning this ground when we realized that it's cricket. The arc here that you're seeing could have been drawn to the sides and for drainage.
Correct.
And the drainage coming straight to the main pavilion and to the sides.
Okay.
We would have been able then to have the football field off
but
the
closer
cricket
here.
pitch, closer to the pavilion as it were years ago.
Right.
Of the cricket area to an extent, and so it would be minimal tampering on the field, because this ground could have accommodated cricket on one side and the football field coming close to the pavilion.
Yeah, because we can have 2 full-size football fields in here.
Good. So the point is, we were happy when we saw the cricket pitch pushed back somewhat. That was our intention before the government came.
You.
We had already started to push back the cricket pitch that way, so that the footballers will not run on the cricket pitch.
Right.
Now I don't know what will happen.
Because they have the drain here.
They have suggested that we have seasons, but
no.
How do we deal with the seasons?
No.
In Guyana.
No, we can't. We can't do it, Mr. Chapman, because for us to have seasons, they're suggesting then that the cricketers will have a time to play.
Yeah.
Then footballers have their time to play. Hockey players have their time to play. When will the athletes have a time to run?
So I don't know what will happen.
Because we can't have shot put and all that in here. You know?
Exactly.
This ground has got serious complications now in reference to logistics. Because according to what you're saying, what I know, they failed to simply communicate
that
and
is
engage
our biggest
with
problem.
You. That's as
this
simple
could
as
have been avoided.
All of this could have been avoided.
But none whatsoever.
All of this could have been avoided. So we are now in a position as Londoners as to saying whether we're going to just accept what is dumped upon us, or we're going to demand, listen, you have to make modifications to this to accommodate what is. Because this, you've been a sports personality in reference to riding and so on. I think you played quite a few sports too. How many cricketers have Linden produced in reference to the West Indies? I know Basil Butcher.
I don't think we've produced any West Indian cricketer. I know we had a few national cricketers. Let me clear this up.
Okay.
The government came and said there will be no cricket playing on this MSC ground. That was when our first meeting with the Minister of Sports. When we came down, I asked the Assistant Director of Sports, why is it that cricket is not included? Because this is a multi-discipline.
Yeah.
She said, based upon information she gathered, no cricket is played. That might have been the case that at that time no cricket was being played because there was a problem at the national level, and it filtered down to the UDCA.
Okay.
Because there were factions trying to run cricket in Guyana. During that period, nothing really was happening. But after we heard that no cricket was played in Linden, we wrote and said, here, we want all sports. We don't want the exemption of cricket at the cost of any other sport. We said we want cricket, football, athletics, basketball, rugby, hockey, all that were played before, we want it to continue. Again, our biggest concerns remain because this facility can upkeep itself with all those sports being played.
Indeed.
If you narrow it to 1 or 2, it will not suffice its existence.
No.
And that is the problem we have.
No.
I am not too sure how we will move forward with the cricket being a major focus as against the other sports. We are on the verge of getting a club coming under the MSC to start back football, because we had it before.
Right.
We want to regain our position as a multi-sports facility. What do we tell the football team when it returns about them using this facility?
They won't be able to use it.
And that's the problem that
they won't be able to use it. And this drain is one of the biggest issues we face.
It is.
This oval is one of the greatest challenges we face, because the concrete drain is, I mean, somebody was saying to me, and I mean, I don't know whether you're an engineer, but it just doesn't make sense. They said that we haven't seen the finished product. That's one who supports the project. They said that they're going to fill this drain, fill everywhere so you can play football.
Let me tell you what's happening. I spoke to 2 of the key persons involved in the works here. One said, you're going to cover it. The other said it cannot be covered.
You can't cover a drain. Can you cover gutter in your yard? If you cover gutter in your yard, what happens to the water?
The thing is, you're having 2 systems of drainage. You have the top
and the subsurface. Yes.
Under there.
Yes.
Why the one at the top remains there is to assist in some kind of drainage going around.
Yeah, you want rapid drainage for cricket.
Good. But at the same time, it was to prevent those who run onto the field, it prevent the local grass from tampering.
Oh wow!
So that's the other challenge that we have.
Because they have the planting grass here, of course.
A special kind of grass.
Special grasses,
Yeah.
they're doing it at Bay Rock. Oh, so the drain
That
is here
was
to prevent
exactly
you from transferring like that grass
Again,
into the field.
the biggest problem we had here was consultation.
Yeah.
We've got technical people who could have given and made an input as it relates to how do we deal with this arc.
Yeah.
If we could get it coming to the sites as we would have felt would be best.
Makes sense.
But the high-handedness is what
Yeah.
have put us in this situation. Here.
Brothers and sisters, you've heard quite extensively that which Mr. Joe Chapman has spoken to. As I said, I commend him because he has been frequently seen at this ground because of the interest and the attachment that he has and the responsibility that he bears. It's unfortunate that in Guyana, a general secretary can say to you that they, and I know it's true, they don't know what this will look like when it's done. This is unfortunate. All right? So we're going to close this broadcast for now, and you will certainly see me here again, most likely on Friday morning, if not Wednesday morning, because we have to have answers. And we just can't roll over and let this happen and be quiet about it. As Londoners, we stand together. They're braving the sun, and they're standing together. Joseph Hamilton, you, the ministry responsible for labor, there are serious complaints in this ground because I said it before, I knew it was going to happen. Guyanese are not receiving equal, according to the reports of the workers, equal pay and equal opportunities. This has to be investigated. All right? So we will leave, since we are called unauthorized persons. Of course, you've seen that we are authorized. Mr. Chapman, we'll talk, sir. Thanks so much for this. Thanks. I really appreciate your being so open. All right? We already have the post for a signboard here. You see the post there? So you want to see internal and external plans for this building. We see everything we want to see posted here. We demand that we see it. Yeah, we have 2 posts here already. So that's what GT&T sign could come down and we could put exactly what Londoners want to see on Guyanese. What is going on here? I thank you all for your time. To those who came, of course, standing in strength, joining the fight, we are grateful. And we shall continue to stand. See you all soon. Please tap your screen, hit the share button, so that Ramson can know. I'm not going to see him. He works for us. He will come and talk to us. Do well.